Assembly meetings are now on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:30 p.m. And we have clean General Assemblies on Saturdays at 4 p.m. That's right. They're now at 4 p.m. on Saturday. And tomorrow, Saturday at 4, we are going to be talking about the General Strike.
General Strike!
CrossX Bones is trying to get online. As soon as he's online, I'm going to go offline.
Okay?
I have 2 viewers.
Okay. Does anybody need ASL sign language interpretation? ¿Alguien necesita traducción a español? Okay, se parece que no. All right. Moving on. So,
Wow, your light is badass.
we do have some new people here tonight. Before we call them up, we'd like to let you know, our facilitation team, where our stackers are. So we have 2 stackers tonight.
What?
Okay, stackers, row.
Slow.
All right, you want to give your name? Frank. Got
Frank.
over here. And what, got David? Tom over here. All right, so see your stackers. So we'd like to hear from a couple of people who today is their first day. We'd love to hear from you and hear why you're here.
New people speak.
Tonight.
New people speak. New people speak. New people speak. New people speak. There's 2 on the box up there too.
Come on up.
I'm Ryan.
Hi, Ryan.
I'm
I'm a
vet.
Yeah.
veteran.
Veteran.
Army.
Anyway,
check.
I'm just coming down here for the first time with my friend.
Okay,
Go down here. First time with my friends.
Okay.
Keep his mic.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
I'm here.
That's it. I'm here
And
with my
that's
friend
it.
Brian.
I'm here with my friend
All right. One more person. Anybody else? First time. We've got 2. We'll take your vote. We'll take your vote.
Brian. Both of you. All of you.
All of you.
All right. Hi, I'm Ashley.
Hi, I'm Ashley.
This is my first time at Occupy.
This is my first time at Occupy.
I've been following Occupy
I've been following Occupy
for quite a few months.
for quite a few months.
And I'm super excited. And
I'm super excited.
Moderators note, Ashley not only showed up, but she's participating on our facilitation team tonight.
Hi, I'm Jeremy.
Hi, Jeremy.
And I am visiting from Occupy Sonoma County.
From Occupy Sonoma County.
An hour north of San Francisco.
San Francisco.
And I am so thrilled to be here.
I'm so thrilled to be here.
Thank you.
Did you bring some more? Now,
New.
go ahead.
Hi.
Hi.
I just wanted to hear you guys say that.
Say I love you. Say I love you.
My name is Oya, and I love you.
Also on our facilitation team tonight. Yay, oh yeah, okay. Now we're looking for a volunteer to read our principles of solidarity.
To read our principles of solidarity.
Come on up. Who's got our principles? I got it. There we go. Alex got them for you.
Basic word of solidarity. Principles of solidarity.
The principles of solidarity.
We are 99%.
We are the 99%.
And we have moved to reclaim our mortgage future.
And we have moved to future.
Through a direct democratic process,
Through a direct democratic process,
we have come together as individuals
we have come together as individuals
and crafted these principles of solidarity,
and crafted these principles of solidarity,
which are points of unity that include,
include,
but are not limited to, engaging in direct and transparent participatory democracy, exercising personal and collective responsibility, recognizing individuals' inherent privilege, and the influence it has on all interactions, empowering one another against all forms of oppression, redefining how labor is valued, the sanctity of individual privacy, the belief that education is a human right, and endeavoring to practice and support wide application of open source. We are daring to imagine a new socio-political and economic alternative that offers greater possibility of equality.
Thank you. All right. Tonight, based on Friday's General Assembly, rather than reading our statement of nonviolence, we're going to try something new. All right? We're going to ask each night, we're going to give this a try. It's an experiment. We're going to ask somebody to come up and share their principle of solidarity, their statement of nonviolence. So we want to hear from one person tonight who will share what their statement is of nonviolence, okay? And we'll do that for a while and we'll learn from each other. And I'm going to take two tonight because I want to take Donald and I want to hear from this woman back here. So we're going to hear two. We'll start with Donald and then we're going to take you.
Yeah, peaceful.
yeah.
Mic check.
Mic check.
I feel that nonviolence is a way of life.
Is a way of life.
This does not, however, mean that we need to stand by and be trampled. When we're mistreated, we can speak loudly. We can stand up for each other. And if violence happens against us, we can defend each other. This is not a violent way of life. And it's not condoning violence. Many of us have had violence perpetrated against us during the course of our support of basic human rights. This is why we occupy.
Yeah!
All power to the people.
Step forward. Power to all people. Come on. I want to hear from you.
What's your name, comrade?
I am Leo.
I've adopted Gandhi's concept of nonviolence. Gandhi got his concept from other religious leaders. I digested it and incorporated it into my way of life. Nonviolence does not mean I'm weak. Nonviolence means
means
I have to be wiser.
I have to be wiser.
I have to be stronger.
I have to be stronger.
And I have to stand in the force.
And I have to stand in force.
Nonviolence
Nonviolence
means that I have to walk in another person's shoes.
I have to walk in another person's shoes.
I have to respect them.
I have to respect them.
Regardless of what they do.
Of what they do.
It's not about them.
It's not about them.
It's about me.
It's about me.
Nonviolence is the greater fight.
It's the greater fight.
Although I recognize that Gandhi said a man must never turn and run. A man must never turn and run.
Turn and run.
He must stand.
He must stand.
And it's the only thing he knows.
And the only thing he knows is brute force.
He must stand as a human being.
He must stand as a human being.
But the higher fight is the truth force fight.
It's the truth force fight.
It's what we Americans call nonviolence.
It's what we Americans call nonviolence.
It is a power.
It is a power.
When wielded at another. And you are wrong. It will cut you down.
It will cut you down.
But when wielded and you stand in truth, the other must fall.
The other must fall.
Even in time.
Even in time.
Thank you. Okay. Right now, we're going to take only time-sensitive committee and affinity group announcements. So that means if it's like coming up tomorrow or it's urgent. We're going to go through a couple of committee confirmations and one proposal, and then we'll come back for our regular committee and affinity group announcements. So if you have a very time-sensitive one, see your stacker now. Esteban?
Discussion? Were we having a discussion topic? Breakouts first.
Oh, sorry. I messed up the order. Thank you. Next, we're having a discussion.
Next we're having a
Discussion.
I'd like to bring up David and Scott.
I'd like to tell both have the same two viewers.
And anybody from the legal committee. To introduce our discussion topic. We will be breaking out. Into groups of 5 to 10. For 15 or 20 minutes. And you should choose a moderator. A note taker. And someone to report back. To the General Assembly. David.
Hi, everybody. First off, I want you to raise your hand if you've been arrested while supporting the occupation. All right, there's a couple of you. What we're going to do after we talk about this, when we create our groups, is to get an arrestee in each group. The point of this is, how do we support our arrestees? What do we do to make the dehumanizing visit to jail better for those that get arrested? Also, how do we get all the appropriate information back to the legal committee so we can support our arrestees? And finally, we're looking for volunteers. I passed this document out. I hope all of you have browsed it. It has some key points on how you can help. But we need volunteers. Serious volunteers. That are going to make phone calls. Call the courts. Call the jails. Try to get people OR. Find media. Find arrest footage. Review arrest footage. Etc. So again, How can we help arrestees?
How can we help our arrestees?
How can we make their experience better?
How can we make their experience better?
And how can you
You
help make that process better?
Help make that process better.
Yeah. Later, after breakout groups, if you're willing to volunteer, please see us over there. So we can take down your information. And talk about an assignment that you can take.
We also need
A lot of people
to
to do the training. To become legal observers. This is very important. For 5-1. We need a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of people. Way more than we've ever seen. Everyone should do the training.
This doesn't necessarily mean the green hat, where you have to stand back. It just means you know your rights. You can spread your rights to the rest of the occupiers. The knowledge of those rights. So you can fight the cops. With law. Like obstruction. I'm no longer obstructing. These are things you'll learn. Notes. How to take appropriate notes.
Okay. Thank you all. So let's break out and let's get this discussion going.
Who are the arrestees? Come down.
Arrestees, please step forward.
Okay, Crossbones has his stream up, so I'm going to go ahead and drop the stream now. So if you guys want to keep watching GA, go ahead and switch to cross_x_bones. Is that right?
You can just do crossxbones.com.
Crossxbones.com. Bye, guys.